I always knew, y'all. I always knew that Erin Brooks was destined for greatness. Ever since I saw her first couple videos shredding Waco, it was obvious. She was on a completely another level than anyone else, male or female. This girl was surfing, if you like, Bruce irons mixed with Aki, and maybe just sprinkle in a little bit of Gabriel. The sound's working. That's great. But Erin Brooks, back when she was 14 years old, was already destined for greatness. She managed to beat the literal silver medalists at the Fiji contest about 7 hours ago. And on top of that, this was her first ever CT event. And she was a wild card. And she's only 17 years old. So she literally showed up to Fiji, had never surfed against people on the world tour, goes and wins the whole event, and isn't even 18 years old yet. How crazy is that? How crazy is it that we live in a time when a person who couldn't even get on the Olympics due to some weird circumstances and pretty much became a Canadian citizen to get on the Olympics, and she's just going to go ahead and beat the person who got silver anyway. Now, when I was watching the Fiji contest, it was funny because I saw Erin surf against, it was the quarterfinals. I believe it was, her name's escaping me, but it was funny. Oh, Gabriella Bryan. So when I saw her surfing against Gabriella Bryan, for some reason, I thought she lost. And even the people, the commentators were kind of saying how when the heat was over, like the scores were up. And for some reason, it looked like she had lost. And I was extremely bummed because I was like, it might have been, yeah, right here it says 1 minute left, Erin Brooks. So, yeah, she got her last wave. Wow, I guess I missed that. So she got her last wave in the quarterfinals with like 2 minutes left. And it might even be the wave in the thumbnail. So literally everyone thought she had lost, I think. And then she get the last wave and wins the quarterfinal event. And then she goes on to beat the person who's like in second, Katie Sims right now, from Oceanside, shout out. So she beat Katie Simmers and then beats Molly Picklum. And then she goes and beats the silver medalist in the finals. Like, how crazy is this? Like, even in if you go to the male side, like, there's not really, that'd be like someone coming into the contest and just like taking out Gabriel, taking out Kelly, taking out, like back in the day, just taking out Andy, just taking out everyone. And they're like 17. It's absolutely insane. And I'm going to just go ahead and claim it that I always knew, Erin, I always knew you were going to be the best. Shout out Surf Park Central. We had a Surf Park Summit event, and we were lucky enough to have Erin come to the event. And this was 3 years ago. So this was before she was like kind of on the rise, and her main home break was pretty much Waco. And she had kind of developed a lot of her surfing skills in a surf park at Waco. Sure, we're seeing in real time what surf parks can do for someone. It took a girl who, by the time we had her at the event, she had only been surfing for, I think, 5-ish years. So she started surfing when she was, I don't know, 8 or 9. So within surfing less than 8-9 years, she's already at the top level, beating the best surfers in the world. Like, it's just pretty insane. And it's really cool because, like, it's almost like she kind of feels like a hometown hero in the surf community, because we kind of saw what she was doing, and it was super obvious just from the get-go. Like, this girl is on a whole nother level. I'm just checking my audio really quick. This girl is on a whole nother level. And it sounds amazing, and it looks pretty amazing too. We're shooting with the Gloria ZV E1 per usual, and we have a lovely album board in the background. And so yeah, she was on stage just kind of talking about, surfing in Waco, and she rides for Lost, and it just kind of her couple of years just kind of developing a lot of her air skills at Waco, but just her overall surfing abilities. And it's crazy because when you watch her surf, you're watching someone who's somehow developed like a Bruce Irons-esque style, and they haven't even barely surfed a decade. I mean, I've surfed for almost 30 years, and I'll tell you, once you hit like a certain milestone, you only kind of get so much better. But she seems to have gotten really good really quickly, and then she just skyrocketed past like pretty much everyone. And now it's like pretty evident that she is like kind of the new Carissa Moore. Like, she is the Kelly Slater of women surfing, yet she's only 17 years old, and she developed most of her skills in a surf park at Waco. And she would talk about her home break being Waco and just surfing it all the time. And just the stuff she was doing there was like, it was unheard of. It was, you didn't see the stuff she was doing. She was doing snowboarding grabs. You can go to YouTube and type in, Surf Park Summit, Erin Brooks. You can watch her on stage. Type in Erin Brooks at Waco. And I think she was in another event, if you guys want to chime in the chat, a few months ago in Indonesia. And that was kind of a bummer because I remember her getting like somewhat skunked with her wave selection and just like what kind of happened with the wave she selected. And it's almost like she needed the opportunity like she got at Fiji with that 1 minute left in the quarterfinals to kind of prove like, hey, y'all, I'm not messing around. Like, I'm the new GOAT. Like, I am the Kelly Slater on the women's side of surfing right now. So she's on like the Challenger series, like to get on tour. And there's only a few events left with that. And if she kind of keeps doing well, she will be on the 2025 World Tour. Now, I don't know if maybe you do have to be, 18 to be on the, I'm not sure if you have to be 18 or not. It says juniors are from 18 to 20. I don't think there is an age limit. I'm not sure if anyone knows there's an age limit to be on the CT, the actual tour. But she went from pretty much starting out on the Challenger series to now she's like about to win it if nothing goes too crazy, to being on the World Tour next year. So I think if she gets on the World Tour, as long as like something weird doesn't happen, she's gonna win. Like, it's like blaringly obvious that she is like a notch above. Like, even when you watch her against Katie, like, shout out, I love Caitlin Simmers. I guess Caitlin did have to surf the wave backside, which is a lot trickier, especially in like a gnarly reef wave like this. But you can tell like Caitlin is definitely like a little more timid and a little more just wary of just the wave and like. But when Erin surfs it, it's just kind of like like a no frills, like no fear attitude that, again, it reminds me of like Bruce Irons, just the really just like kind of going for broke at all times with no fear or hesitation in sight. And it was just super interesting because, again, I thought she lost the quarters, and I kind of had written it off like, dang, like she's the best. Like, she should be winning this event. Like, and then when I kind of checked again, for some reason there was some mishap, and then she actually did keep going, and then she wins. And it's pretty funny because the internet is definitely kind of noticing this, but a couple years ago, it was already obvious that like she was the best. So now that she's actually propelled to this new spot where she's like competing in the contest and on the Challenger series and etc., like there's no really stopping her, and there really isn't. I don't think any competition because like with the Chris and Moore, I think not on the tour anymore. I mean, everyone else, I mean, like Molly and stuff, they do shred, and I'm not writing them off by any means, but like to me, it's just Erin has this kind of new style that it's hard to replicate. You don't really see it, and I think surfing in the wave pool and getting so many repetitions and really like kind of just being able to let go and know like this wave's gonna do this. I can practice this. I can do this. It's really just it's helped her just like 10x her skills way quicker than having to learn in the ocean. And at like that super high level of surfing, when you're able to have like reps like that, it's we haven't really seen that in the world of surfing yet. This is pretty new. And that's kind of why even at the Surf Park Summit, we were talking about like a future surf champion is going to be some kid from Ohio who's never surfed in the ocean. And we're already seeing that right now with Erin Brooks. She had surfed in the ocean, etc. But again, Waco was like her home break. And she even had to kind of like Jimmy rig her Canadian citizenship to get to the Olympics. And then it was a bummer because she ended up not getting it in time or something. Because I guarantee if she went to the Olympics, unless she just got unlucky, she might have won. She would have been in the top 5, and she would have given everyone a run for her money. Because her level of surfing right now, it's just I'm just gonna be looking at it for a sec. You can go watch some of the highlights right now. And shout out WSL. Thank you for all the clips. Thank you for helping me. I have your names in the thumbnail, so let me keep that, please. Please don't copyright strike me there. But just go check her out. I mean, there's like a few things she does, like again, like her bottom turn. She's like a conglomeration of a bunch of timeless surfers. She has the bottom turn of Tom Curran. She has the looseness of Bruce Irons. She has the no fear of Andy Irons. She has the power of Aki. Like when she throws a turn, there is spray. There is a lot of spray. And she's not a huge person. She's like a pretty small petite person. I mean, put her next to Molly or like Carissa Moore. They're slightly bigger individuals. Like they are more typically a power surfer just based on their body. But Erin Brooks is like more of an actual surfing body type with kind of scrawny, skinny. But you wouldn't think like when you see her turns, like, oh, all right, Aki. And like she has this little steezy kind of like check turn to bottom turn that like her style is just like unmatched. Her style is essentially the style of someone who surfed for 30 years and actually can think about like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do on this. Here's I'm gonna have my hands. I'm gonna have my hands at a correct spot. I'm not gonna stink bug. Like she somehow has perfected her style within her short surfing career. And she's able to like top turn to bottom turn to quickly pivot and go back up to a top turn in like a big wave. I mean, this Fiji Pro wave, it may not look that nuts, but I guarantee if you're out here surfing this wave, you'd be like, dang, like it's pretty heavy. And that reef down there, that'll get you. I mean, this is an 8-foot wave. This is OBX like going off. This is Ernesto just that happened. And she's just there smiling like not a care in the world. And it is just so impressive. And she even got underscored like a mofo in this thing. This one wave, like her quarterfinal wave where everyone thought she lost, and then she got that wave and 1 minute left. They all gave her like 6s and 7s. And it's like, are you seeing the same wave we're seeing? Like this is like a 9.5. She drops him way behind and I'd be showing you all this. I just don't want to get like copyright striked. But just go check it out for yourself because it is unbelievably impressive. The level of surfing she has already achieved. And I'm just a big fan. And I think everyone is seeing what's going on here. And it's super interesting because we're seeing someone who developed a lot of their main skills in a surf park at Waco. Rational Ale, shout out Rational Ale, my new wannabe sponsor, Rational Ale, West Coast IPA. If you want to drink fake beer, this is it right here. It's amazing. It's the best one I've found yet. I've tried like a dozen fake beers, and this one is like hands down the best. Shout out Chris Cote for helping me know where to get the plug for this. But if you want to cut back on drinking a little bit, have these in your fridge, and just before you even like think about it, open one of these really quick and to start drinking it, and your body will be like, oh, I'm getting my fix. And then before you know it, you're not drinking as many IPAs because you're tricking your body and your mind by drinking the rational ales. Let's get it focused. There you go. Free promotion. Back on my face. Perfect. So we just got to talk about Erin Brooks a little more because I am just starstruck. So we did get, I did get to slightly just talk to her at the summit, at the Surf Park Summit. And even when she was only 14 years old, she was already like well put together, well spoken, like very friendly, very smiley, was able to be on stage next to a bunch of surfing legends. We essentially had a bunch of like really good surfers, young and old, like the Hobgoods, Debbie, we had Sean Thompson, we had PT, all these people on stage, and she's just up there as well, already next to all these like world champions. And little did they know that she is going to be like a future world champion. I mean, I don't want to jinx it. Like, I'm not trying to jinx it on you, Erin. It's just so obvious that like you're just on a whole nother level. Like, oh my, her bottom, the top turn is hands down the best, one of the best on the tour right now. Because she's able to generate so much speed from her bottom turn, which the point of a bottom turn is to, even though a bottom turn, you wouldn't think it's like a move, but once you realize the kind of the art and the physics of what the bottom turn actually is, you can really allow it to propel you up to your top turn. But if you try to bottom turn like too hard or in a certain way, your top turn is not going to be as sick. But if you kind of slack your bottom turn a little bit, your top turn could be better because you're more focused on that. It's really hard to have like a really good bottom turn, go into a really good top turn, to come back to go a really good bottom turn. I mean, it's Tom Curran surfing 101, and she's 17 years old and has already perfected it. And like this, her quarterfinals versus Caitlin, she got an 8 and a 7.3. Like at her first event ever, she's getting 8s and 7 pluses. And then in the final, so against Molly, I think, how close is that? Or not Molly, it's Tatiana, so she's from Brazil, I believe. So, I mean, actually, you know what? She beat the gold medalist because she beat Molly. Oh, actually, no, sorry, I misspoke. She beat Molly Picklum, but she's not the gold medalist. The gold medalist of surfing was, we all know who it was. Caroline Marks. I guess she did beat her too. I forgot about. Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah, so Caroline Marks is number 2 on the CT right now, and no, actually, she did win that. Okay, so I'm a little confused what happened. I think Caroline Marks lost to someone else, but she did win her heat with Erin. And somehow Erin got by. And again, I'm still flabbergasted why why they said she lost and then she won. I think it was just because it was so late in the heat that people assumed it was over, and then it wasn't. So that was pretty cool. And it's kind of funny too, if you type in Erin Brooks right now on YouTube, I pop up. That's cool. So I'm just watching her right now. And again, I'm gonna watch some of her at Surf Park Summit. When she was on stage, and I essentially edited a bunch of her surfing, and even she was even surfing at Waco, and it's called BSR, and it was just unbelievable. I mean, she's doing, what is she doing? She's doing grabs no one's done. She's doing like 360 airs, just humongous airs that's no one's done. And she's just sticking them and making it look super easy. She makes surfing look like it's, oh, the ZVE1 has an overheating logo for once in its life. All right, give me 1 sec. We got to do a quick check that the Ulanzi fan's still on. Quick check, 1 sec. Oh, it died. That's what happened. Oh, God. Oh, God. We have an emergency. Emergency. Ulanzi fan. Where are you? Here. Ulanzi fan. We're still going, guys. I'll be right back. Getting the old Ulanzi fan on. Because we need the ZV-1. There we go. Ooh, that camera's hot. Oh, no. Cool down, ZV-1. Cool down. Bear with me, guys. Technical difficulties. All right. We are opening stuff. We are doing stuff. Oh, it's cooling down. Keep cooling. All right. We could be good, guys. We could be good. Thanks for sticking with me there. Well, ZV-1, it needs its Ulanzi fan. All right. Well, if the stream goes out at any time, at least we got a good chat in, and now we're just in overtime now. But the Ulanzi fan, which I have another stream about, it saves your small mirrorless cameras from overheating like this one. Almost said the camera just read 51 degrees. I've never seen it that high before. So that was pretty scary. And it needs that Ulanzi fan going. I just want to see what it says real quick right now. It says, oh, 42. We could be back in business, y'all. We could be back in business. The Ulanzi fan stepped up and saved the day. So we can keep talking about Erin Brooks because she's the best. Yeah. Let me know in the chat. I mean, do any guys think that there's someone who can beat Erin Brooks? Like, Erin Brooks is the best. It's like so obvious that it's funny to talk about because I haven't heard anyone be like, oh, no, she's not the best. Because it's so obvious. It's pretty much like saying Kelly Slater is the GOAT. It's like case closed. We all just know. Now, I don't know why she wasn't. I think it's just she's been so young, and she really just has been coming up the ranks so quickly. And again, she was a wild card of this event, which means like essentially she probably had like a pretty bad seed like in the thing, which means like try to go up against someone like higher in the rankings right away, because what they usually do is when they have a wild card, you're going to get like low on the totem pole. So she had to go up against, all the best people right away. And it's kind of rare that a wild card will win. And I mean, sometimes a wild card will win if they are from the area, but like they're in Fiji. I mean, who knows if she's even surfed that way before? I think another hypothesis I have is that because Waco or any surf park is usually like a concrete bottom, and it can, like when you fall on that thing, it can hurt. You definitely learn how to not be scared when you're surfing a concrete bottom every day, because that's gonna hurt when you hit that bottom. Just like the reefs here at Cloud Break and etc., those hurt, and you can tell, other surfers. I mean, the people at this level usually aren't going to be timid based on the reef. I mean, they're going to take it to the inside and go for broke because they have to. But it's rare if you surfed reefs before, they're scary. Like when you get to the inside and you're about to slam on that reef, and it can easily kill you, injure you for sure, easily kill you. So it's pretty. And the overheating sign has went off. We win, Ulanzi fan. But yeah, what else? What next events does she have? Erin Brooks tour next events. It's funny, they're still calling her a phenom. We called her a phenom in our Surf Park Summit video, and people are copying us. But it's funny is I can actually watch the video I made for that event of her, and like those views, that has like 7,000 views now, because again, it's a couple years old, but people are already noticing that she was like next up. But I don't think people knew how next up she was, unless they had seen her at those Waco clips. So just type in Erin Brooks surfing Waco, and type to see what makes it. Yeah, so like Stab did a video, 13 airs in 53 seconds. It's just unbelievable. And she's like with Bethany Hamilton kind of showing her. And even it was really cool when she, the last heat of the Fiji event and won, Kelly Slater's in the water, like clapping. And it's a pretty cool full circle moment to watch someone who I think everyone's kind of rooting for now, just based on her, like her talent and abilities. And it's so obvious that this is a world champion in the making, that it's fun to get behind someone like that and root for them, especially when they're, seem to be like a genuine kind of real person. I mean, she has like lots of sponsors and you can tell they're kind of propping her up to be like good on camera. And she can play the whole role very well. And that's got to be challenging. I mean, you're a young person, you're just thrown into this kind of limelight and everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone, she's essentially a celebrity now at a super young age. But yeah, if she got to go to the Olympics, I mean, that's what kind of bums me out, is just how the whole Olympics is set up and stuff. It's like, is it really the best person in the world winning? I mean, I don't think so, because each country can only send a certain amount of people. So in terms of like it being fair for every country only getting a certain amount, but like if you somehow, well, I guess that's what the WSL is. That's like the actual best person in the world. The Olympics is maybe like not as evident in that regard, even though the people that win, I mean, I guess for the guys, Vass is sick, but he's not on the, the tour. But I think when Italo won, that made a lot of sense. And then when, like Carissa won, like that was like the perfect thing. But you would think like, oh, well, Olympics, like Kelly Slater should win the Olympics, right? But he didn't even go to the Olympics. So that's pretty interesting. And also Kelly, I love you, but like, so how are you're still surfing in all these events, even though you're retired? It's like, because it was kind of funny because he surfed in that heat that Griffin was in. And if Kelly like kind of beat Griffin or messed him up on that heat, he could have like messed up Griffin's rankings. Because Griffin basically, because he won, and even that Kelly heat, he snagged getting in the top 5. But if he had lost that heat, it would have been like a way different story, because he was right on the cusp. And I think John has such a big lead that like he really needed to do well at this event, the Fiji Pro, and then he ended up winning. So I feel like 2 people won. That was pretty cool. That it's just kind of fun to root for. And yeah, so all right, guys. I thought it was just a fun, and girls, I thought it was a fun talk. Just to shout out Erin Brooks, like the new world champion surfer we're all seeing in front of our eyes, who really defined her skills in a surf park. And we thought it'd be years before we saw, what's his name? The guy from that movie. Oh, I forget, but it's a funny joke. But the surf movie, and it's based in the middle of the country, but we always thought that that'd be down the line when we saw a person only in a surf park win an event, win the world tour, be a world championship surfer. But it's happening a lot quicker than we thought. It's happening pretty much before surf parks are even becoming a household name. So in another 5 years, maybe it's going to be all surf park people in these events, just because of the nature of practicing in a surf park and in a pool that produces the same wave every time. And if you need to practice barrels, you can practice barrels. You need to practice airs, you can practice airs. Even if you live in trestles, it's still challenging to go practice maneuvers. You have crowds, you have these different swells, you have stingrays. So the pool is an interesting concept of how it's changed the game, and it's already proved that in literal real time by Erin Brooks winning the Fiji Pro as a 17-year-old wild card in her first ever CT event. So I appreciate everyone for stopping in for another Hero's Journey show. Till next time, peace.